right, so we're going to use substitution here. And the easiest one to use substitution for is this one right here. Right now we know what y is equal to. Y is equal to 2x minus 3. So we take the fact that what y is, and we take and we substitute into that y right there. And we rewrite it. And so we say x plus 3, but instead of y, we're going to write 2x minus 3. And it's still equal to 5. So what you've created is an equation, instead of having two variables in it, now only has one variable. And we solve for that variable. So we know in this case that this 3 is going to have to get distributed. And so it's x, and it's going to be plus 6x minus 9 equals 5. And then it's a problem that you know how to do. Combine your like terms. So look for your variables that are the same. So we can combine 6x and x and get 7x minus 9 equals 5. And then 7x by adding 9 to both sides gives me 14. So x is equal to 7. But we're talking about where two equations or two lines are intersecting. So we don't just need a y value, an x value, we also need a y value, right? So if x is 2, not 7, but 2, then we come back up here and we figure out what the corresponding y value is by substituting in the value that we know for x. So y is going to equal 2 times 2 and then minus 3. Or 4 minus 3, which is 1. So we write it as an ordered pair x, y. And so it's 2 comma 1. Now let's say I have time on a quiz and I want to check to make sure my answer is correct. What do I need to do? Substitute into both. And shouldn't they both work? So for checking purposes, let's say we want to check, because sometimes when we do these by reworking the problem, we make the consistent or the same mistake over again. So this is an alternate way to make sure that your answers are right. So let's see, if we substitute it into y equals 2x minus 3, then does 1 equal 4 minus 3? Well, it does, yes? And it has to work in both of our equations. So the next one that we substitute into is x plus 3y equals 5. And so we try, does 2 plus 3 times 1 equal 5? Well, we can see that it does. And so we know that the ordered pair 2, 1 has to be correct. Does that make sense? All right. Let's try the next one. Here again, I've made it nice for you. I've figured out, or I've told you what y is equal to. So we want to do a substitution of 2x plus 5 into that y. So we say 3x plus, using a parentheses, because that's what we're substituting, right, 2x plus 5, and then set it equal to 10. You want to use parentheses when you substitute because you don't want to forget about any signs that you might have to distribute or any coefficients. Bernie? They're given to you. This is a problem. I'm just giving it to you. If y can equal 2x plus 5, then I'm putting that 2x plus 5, Bernie, in place for the y in my second equation. So the 3x stays the same. Instead of y, I'm going to write 2x plus 5. It's interchangeable. And then it has to equal 10. I'm just rewriting that equation. So I'm going to get 3x plus 2x plus 5 equals 10. There are my like terms on the left. 5x plus 5 equals 10. 5x equals 5. X equals 1. Now, where do I go to find the corresponding y? Does it really matter which one I would use? It shouldn't, right? But which one is the easier one to use? The first one, because it already tells you what y equals. So we know that y is equal to 2 times 1 plus 5 or 7. So So 1, 7 is your ordered pair. Are we good? No, I was just showing you how to do it. All right, let's try the next one. Here I want to solve for, or substitute in for what variable? X, because I'm telling you what x is equal to, right? It's 5y minus 8. So this value is going to get substituted into right there. And for the x. So 4 parentheses, 5y minus 8 plus 3y equals 14. Distribute the 4 to both of those terms in parentheses. So 20y minus 32 plus 3y equals 14. If you're going too quick, a couple of things that you can do is to forget your y, and then all of a sudden you've dropped a variable. Or you'll forget to distribute the 4 also to the 8. So just take your time and make sure that you're not forgetting any steps. So the 20y and the 3y are both positive, so that's 23y minus 32 is 14. We know how to combine by moving the 32 to the right. 23y is equal to 46, so y is equal to 2. And then where do we go to find the value for x? Either of these equations, but obviously the first one is easier because it already tells you what x is equal to. So if x is equal to 5y minus 8, and we know y is 2, then that means x is equal to 2. So the ordered pair is 2, 2, because it goes x, y. Are we good? All right, you try the next one on your own. Okay, so now let's look at this one. So we know what y is equal to. It's 6. It's just a number. So negative 6x minus 2 times 6 equals 24. Negative 6x is equal to, or minus 12 is 24. Negative 6x is equal to 36. So x is equal to negative 6. Do I have to even figure out what y is, or do I know what y is? What is y? Oh, it's defined to be 6. So we know negative 6, 6 is our ordered pair. This is what kind of a line is y equals 6? Vertical or horizontal? Horizontal. So no matter what x is, the only place where it's going to intersect is when x is negative 6. Bernie? I'm substituting this 6 into this spot. What's going on with the 2 and the y, Bernie? Now, what operation is going on between the 2 and the y? 2y. What does that tell you to do? Is that telling you to add the 2 and the y or multiply? Right. So instead of y, what am I putting in its place? So what am I going to do with the 2 and the 6? Exactly. Okay? All right. Here it's a little bit different because I didn't define what y is. Which one would be the better equation to solve for a variable? And which variable would you solve for? Which one has a coefficient of 1 already there? What do you think? The second equation, which one would you solve for? Y, right? Here's where we have a coefficient of 1y. So that means we're going to let y equal negative 5x plus 35. Agreed? Now, where am I going to put this y value into? Which equation am I going to use now? The second one. You're never using the same equation because you'll just go in a big circle. So we're going to take this value and we're going to put it right in there. And what am I going to do with that? What am I going to multiply that by? What am I going to multiply negative 5x plus 35 by? 3, right? Because that's what it's telling me to do. It's telling me to take 3 times y. So negative 8x plus 3 times negative 5x plus 35, close my parentheses, equals negative 33. And then I distribute. So go ahead and show those arrows. That's negative 8x. Now, what am I going to write next? What sign am I going to write here for this next term? Negative 15x. And then what sign do I write? Plus, and I get, is it 105? Okay, so we've got an equation that we know how to solve. This is going to give me negative 23x. If I subtract 105 from both sides, I'm going to get negative 138. Did I do a math mistake? Okay. So what is x equal to? 138 over 23, which is 6. Comes out pretty. Well, this is a negative 23, and this is a negative 138. So is my x going to be positive or negative? Correct. And that's a place where you would make a mistake, right? For getting that negative. All right. Now, where do I want to find my y? Where would be the appropriate place to find it? You want me to go all the way up here? I would want to go to here, or do I want to go right here where I have what y is equal to? Isn't this already solved for y? And now all I have to do is plug in my value for x into this right side. So we always want to remember when we do this that we're going to come back to here eventually and find our missing variable. So y is equal to negative 5 parentheses 6 plus 35. Negative 30 plus 35, or 5. So my ordered pair is 6, comma 5. How are we doing? Yeah? What variable should I solve for here? The x in the first one, yes? So what is x going to equal? Good, negative 2y plus 6. All right, finish this problem. It was. Yes. So I got y to be 2. Do y'all get y to be 2? Come back up to here and figure out what x is. By doing your substituting using your parentheses. I'll be taking off points if you aren't using parentheses. So 2, 2 is your ordered pair. Now, if I don't use parentheses here when I substitute, or up here, okay? And I always want it as an ordered pair, so you have to use parentheses in an ordered pair. I just want to see you substituting it in. Because let's say you make a mistake, and I don't see that work, and you write 4. I don't know where you're getting that 4 from. I mean, I know, but I want to see it. So show your work. All right, try this one all on your own. What just happened? No solution. Yep. What happens if I would have gotten 0 equals 0? Infinitely many solutions. Uh-huh. Now I have to be able to have a variable to get a value. I don't have a variable in here. My variable is dropped out. So I have to have x equals 1 to get a value for a variable. Otherwise, it's like either no solution or all solutions. You got x equals -6? What'd you get? Okay. All right. Here. This is an interesting one. What happens in this one? Y is by itself in each case, right? What can I do to solve this problem then? What would be my next step? If y equals 6x plus 23 and y equals -3x minus 4, then what can I do, Bailey? Not quite. Not quite. Not yet. You're thinking of tomorrow's lesson. Okay? So think about this in terms of height. Bailey's as tall as Mandy. Mandy's as tall as Hannah. What do we say then? Bailey is as tall as Hannah, right? Does that make sense? If Bailey's as tall as Mandy and Mandy's as tall as Hannah, then aren't you two the same height? So if y is equal to this and y is equal to this, guess what I can say? 6x plus 23 equals -3x minus 4, right? They're equal to each other. If y is equal to one phrase and y is equal to another phrase, then the phrases have to be equal to each other. Does that make sense? So we're going to get 9x is equal to -27. So x is equal to -3. Doesn't matter which equation you substitute into to solve for y. Y will equal -3 times -3 minus 4. 12 minus 4, 8. So -3, 8 would be your ordered pair. Are you comfortable with this? Because I can't do 9. How about 9 minus 4 and 5? Is that better? Is that good? Okay. All right. You do the last one yourself. All right. So this is one of those cases again where y is equal to both of these. So 8x plus 14 equals -6x minus 14. I'm going to get 14x is equal to what? -28. So x is equal to? All right. So then y is equal to 8. If I plug it into the first equation, times -2 plus 14, -16 plus 14, or negative. So -2, -2. Are we good on this stuff? All right. You may start homework.